Well, my voice could be considerably worse than it is, and that's good enough for me today. So let's talk about Gravity Falls Season 1, Episode 6, Dipper vs. Manliness. Yes, I still have a cold, so that means lots of cutting out of sniffling and sneezing and coughing and other symptoms of a stuffy head all throughout this video, which I'm really looking forward to, obviously. That's also why you haven't seen very many videos from me this week. I have been recovering from this. I wasn't able to talk for a couple days there. All of that said, let's talk about this episode. And I did have a couple of people warn me kind of offhandedly without spoiling anything that this is kind of one of the least popular episodes of the entire show, so I'm not surprised that I didn't really like it. It was fine, and I can't imagine this being my least favorite episode of the show over its entire run, because it didn't seem that bad. So if this is the worst that the show ever does, then wow, this is a really great show. If anything, I found this episode to be kind of, I don't know, redundant's not really the word, unnecessary. It's all about Dipper trying to prove that he's manly by apprenticing in manliness from some Manitars, which, let's just get out of the way right away. I think the Manitars are actually a really cool idea for a monster. They're literally Minotaurs who are obsessed with manliness. That was cool, and they made cool antagonists. But they're all obsessed with traditional manliness, and it's already been shown pretty definitively that Dipper is not traditionally manly. And I end up with two problems with this. First of all, Dipper isn't old enough to be traditionally manly. He's not even 13 yet. He probably hasn't even hit puberty. So who's to say that he won't develop some of the more traditionally manly traits that he seems to admire later on in life? It's absolutely absurd for a kid as smart as Dipper to obsess over this kind of thing as young as he is. And second of all, it's absolutely absurd for a kid as smart as Dipper to obsess over this kind of thing at all. Dipper isn't the kind of person to doubt himself when things get serious. We've seen that in literally every episode of this show. So having him suddenly doubt himself out of nowhere for the sake of this episode just felt forced to me. And there's one scene in particular where he's trying to lift a small twig and he can only lift it 3 times before he has to stop, trying to exaggerate how unathletic he is, that I just didn't buy at all, because we've seen more than once that Dipper is far more athletic than that, and we see that again in this episode. But I think the most insulting part of all of this is that after everything is said and done, and Dipper has to make a decision whether or not to go through with what the Manitars tell him or literally be his own man, and he makes the latter decision, as we all knew was going to happen. He somehow doesn't realize that that makes him stronger than the Manitars. Until Stan, of all people, has to tell him? Are you kidding? Dipper may well be one of the smartest and most capable kid characters I've ever seen. I mean, I know people critique themselves hard, but you can't tell me that he can't see how worthwhile he actually is on his own, that he can't come to that realization on his own. There was a subplot in the episode about Mabel trying to get Stan so that he's presentable because he has a crush on some waitress at the local diner, trying to get him presentable so that he can ask her out, and it was fine. It was Mabel stuff, so I of course really liked it. But that was more because of Mabel's character, not because the story there was very interesting. It was the same kind of thing we'd seen 1,000 times. I did like the resolution to it, though, that they kind of came to the conclusion that Stan can't be fixed up by a regular person in just a day. But the waitress herself, what was her name? Lazy Susan, I think? She was shown earlier on in the episode fixing things up around the diner, and she seemed to be enjoying it, so Mabel presents Stan to her as something that can be fixed. Something that needs to be fixed, and she eats it up. And it all ends with a gag where Stan realizes that he doesn't like all the attention he's getting from her now and he wants it to end. But I do want to point out that in this episode, which otherwise wasn't very great, Mabel was the only person who succeeded in what she was trying to do. Because Mabel is the best. Like I said, I'm sorry that I didn't have as much out for you this week. I do have a couple of special things planned, so hopefully that makes up for it. I did miss a Ruby review this week, so there's going to be a double review next week, and my promised review of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Cards with Teeth, the introduction to the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm hoping to get that up on Wednesday and make that a Wednesday thing. And I do have something else special planned for you guys as well, so keep a lookout for that. I think it's safe to say that we share a lot of similar interests, so I get the feeling that at least some of you are really going to enjoy this. But as per usual, guys, what did you think of this episode? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.
Nothing is stronger than the power of...
love?
Mabel.